Let not hate rule thy heart. Let not fear break thy will. Let not wrath cloud thy mind. Let not midnight stand eternal. Blades and Blasters presents Eternal Midnight by Rogue. This is Demon Gate, a fantasy setting filled with horror and grief. Keep your fires high, else perish in the darkness.
And at the end of days, the first sign shall appear in the heavens. Justice shall fall upon the world of men. The armies of light and shadow will clash across the fields of eternity.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Blades and Blasters and the next episode of Demon Gate. We are joined tonight by Slip, who is going to be playing Keltiel, and Ghost, who is playing the Hunter. Last episode, the group split up due to some differences in opinion. I'm Rogue, I'm going to be the GM, and make sure to like and subscribe if you like the videos. And if you want to check out the system, Demon Gate, you can find it at www.arcanumsyndicate.com. Here we go. Alright, you guys see that right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
The boat ride back across the crystal blue waters was beautiful, yet terribly tormenting at the same time. Keltiel pulled her cloak tight around herself as the hunter paddled through the waters with his steel glare hidden behind the cold mask. Keltiel let her eyes drift into the water. Her head was still pounding. The mental anguish suffered from the trauma of the failed magical spell was somehow so much less painful than watching her sister walk away with Wrath. They were gone now, vanished into the light of the unknown exit to the caverns, and now Keltiel was alone in a boat with the hunter. This was all wrong, also very wrong. Her sister had chosen Wrath over her, the gods over her. To hell with the gods, she thought. They could burn and she would be happy to watch for all the pain that they cause mortals. if they are even real at all. She did just witness her sister nearly die with Wrath's blade through her heart, and then suddenly come back to life as someone else when he ripped the blade free. Yet, that could have just been some magic trick, or a strange woodland spirit working its treachery. That couldn't really be happening, could it? This was all wrong, not what was planned. It was all wrong. The waters held the remains of an ancient beast in its depths. The dragons, just like the stories of old, they were real. But then again, this wasn't such a shock. They were just gone from this world. Or were they? She recognized then that the dragon was also her astrological sign, one of the 12 fates. It was about as close to religion as she would ever dare to get, but even the fatists were idiots. That wasn't the point, though. The point was that the dragon was not flying through the skies, burning its enemies beautiful and terrifying. It was dead in the icy waters at the bottom of this lake, alone in darkness and forgotten. Her thoughts then drifted to her mother and how all knew it was her fault the fire had started. How she had burned her own mother as a little girl because of her accident. But was it really an accident? Is that why Yuya had left? Was that really why she chose Wrath? Had it been bothering her all this time? And she really did blame her? The grief was consuming Keltiel, all of it so much to bear. Her hands in her hair, the tears welling in her eyes as she stared at the calm waters. Even her power to burn was gone. Like the dragon, she felt so cold, alone, dead inside. Her head pounded. The scar was deep in her mind. She had an eidetic memory. How could she not remember the finger patterns to form the symbol? The simple rune moved across the open air to burn. The sound in the throat to awaken the activation of the mana. 2 sounds was all it took. What were they? Vagrant had always praised her for her ability to quickly remember. Then she recalled something. She had the notes all in her spellbook. Perhaps she could relearn it again. And Vagrant, her old home. He must have some powerful items still left there that they could certainly use. He had plenty of hiding spots that he thought Keltiel should not know about. But she knew, of course. Like all little ones, the minute you leave their eyes, they are pilfering through your secrets. They needed to visit there for sure. There was power there. She could use his library if they hadn't raided it all and taken everything away. Perhaps it wasn't entirely hopeless. If anything, it would feel good again just to see the place. Hunter rowed the boat across the underground lake, seething in anger but restraining it, as he always did. Angry at what had just transpired between them and their former allies. Keltiel likely contained enough rage for them both. The last thing he needed to do was fan the flames. They remained silent as he paddled. He had failed to protect her sister, an innocent life. He should have left Wrath in the cave to freeze or be eaten. Now the one that had saved his life was dead, body taken by another spirit. Abominations. If they were angels, they were hardly better than what he was already hunting. If the time came, he would kill them as well. So blinded by their own ambition, they rolled over the rest. In the meantime, he had other things to attend to. Keltiel had always been the more rational of the twins. She could be convinced to take up his struggle, but then she might be more inclined to pursue wrath and vengeance. Whatever the case, Hunter would try to give her purpose. They now shared the same boat in more ways than one. It didn't change anything, though. He had family to attend to. He could feel it in the air. The words of all he'd spoken with. A man with a mask and a book among the undead. This would be the time. That book, the ancient tome. What was in it? What powers did it hold? It had to be something wicked and grand for him to want it so bad. To hold it at his side, chained to him as they had said. Grill, the blacksmith of the town, had only glanced it during the attack. While the Northmen fought to save their families, Wrath envisioned his brother moving through the battlefield, killing and raising horrors, and all the while his book was chained to his side. His brother was always a power-hungry fool, so the tome must hold some esoteric horror that he had still yet to release. Those sacrifices, the ones in the tent. There must have been 20 bodies in that tent that they had discovered. What did they use those souls for? Blood magic. Keltiel and the hunter both knew about that. It was blood magic. The dark magic, a matter of wicked butchery. Men, women, and even children were used in those 6 sacrifices. Yet there were only 20 in there. How many more were left? There could be more survivors left in the Jarl's Manor. Perhaps there was still time. It was still the afternoon of the Day of the Dead. As they moved through the ruins of the ancient cave, the torchlight fell upon the old artistry within the forgotten place. They had passed through here before, but missed so many things due to Wrath's speed and purpose. The strange man had moved through here so quickly that they had missed much. There was a large 15-foot statue of a reptilian man with scaled wings folded behind his back, wearing strange robes. The reptilian looked like he was half man and half dragon. Perhaps he was supposed to be a god, maybe a demon that once guarded this place. Did the Northmen stumble upon these ruins when they were mining? Keltiel knew this was not here when she was growing up. This was a new find for sure. There were other passages that they did not explore, yet they had little time at the moment to do so, for the ranger of Farthnar was still out there with the strange slave girl, whom had claimed hours prior that she was going to be a sacrifice tonight. As Keltiel stopped to look at a partially crumbled tablet, it held some ancient language upon the stonework. The symbols appeared to be scratched in a manner that made it appear as if the words were written in 3 claws for each symbol. As Hunter moved the torch to illuminate it for her, they heard a strange giggle come from the cave entrance, not 100 yards away. It was loud and very confident sounding over the sounds of the underground river and the falls. They both looked toward one another, a quizzical look forming on Keltiel's face, and the hunter's mask could have quite possibly hid that very same expression. They moved quickly to the front of the cave, to where the light was blinding at first, to get their eyes adjusted to the twin stars in the hour of Sidera, also known as High Star, or Noon. There is Farthnar and the slave girl. No longer where they were standing, but a bit further up toward the trail. Something stops you both in your tracks. They are both locked in an embrace. I'll move you guys over to this map here. Hopefully you have vision.
Yep.
Yeah.
His expression is one of happiness. He smiles and he touches her face, running his fingers through her curly red locks. She is beautiful to him and wearing practically nothing while pushing her body against him. She wraps her legs around him and kisses him deeply. They twirl to leave his back facing you. They are wrapped around one another in a kiss when the winds pick up in the trees and the snowfall seems to slow. As she pulls her lips from him and peeks over his shoulder towards both Hunter and Keltiel, you guys witness some kind of strange, dark aura over the slave's face. As she peers past him to regard the two of you, her face is twisted and horrible. Sharp teeth, slimy hair, her yellow and red eyes glaring toward you, both as she laughs, a whimsical sound of playfulness that oddly sounds like music to Farthnar's ears. Go ahead and make a perception check. And please explain what your first reaction to this whole scene would be as you come out of that cave.
Hearing the laugh, Hunter knows this is not a time of levity, given what's happened in the town. No one should be very happy or laughing. So he would have either discarded the torch for his bow, or discarded it when he came outside and drew his bow. Seeing the two of them locked into an embrace is rather unlike Farthnar to act in that manner, from what he remembers of him. When he sees the twisted visage of the slave girl, his mind quickly starts to race to see what exactly they might be dealing with. And I'll roll a creature lore after Kelt's reaction.
With a perception roll of 3, does she actually see the face of the slave girl? Does she notice?
She does. That's actually for something else, but
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Approaching Farthnar, she had stopped just dead in her tracks, her stomach sinking, and then seeing the face of the girl turn to something horrible, all her pent-up rage, sorrow, anguish, everything just comes flooding out. At first she starts to reach for her spell, and remembering that she doesn't have it, instead she reaches for the axe that had been dipped in silver, and she starts charging forward, getting ready to throw it at her.
Okay. With the perception of 9, I think is, yeah, the hunter made. I'm gonna let you see this real quick. Hunter, you notice as she kind of steps away, or kind of moves her body off of Farthnar's. At that same moment, you notice a warrior drop out of the trees and land in the snow over here. He's brandishing a long sword. And then another warrior peek up over the rocks with a short bow in his hands. And Undar, he appears to be the witch, which is obviously what she is, speaks as she pulls away. She looks towards Keltiel. Ah, Keltiel, you have returned home to us, child. And it seems like her voice is kind of echoed by a couple of different voices, like disembodied almost. Avos did his job well. Your blood holds true power. You don't remember me, do you?
Hunter had grabbed Keltiel's arm, sort of in mid-stride, and the voice of the witch speaking her name sort of stops her in her tracks. Is she still holding on to Farthnar?
She is. She's almost got him as cover right now, and he's just kind of standing there like, duh, smiling.
Okay. This isn't my home, and I don't know you. Let him go.
You can see her tongue come out and lick her lips, and a pity. Your father knew me very well. She drops the ranger right then, and he slumps over to the ground, unconscious. And,
Keltiel looks at Farthnar in concern and then back at Hunter. We must slay this witch. And she tries to move forward again.
We're outnumbered.
She still hasn't noticed the others, I don't think.
Yeah, he pulls back. We're outnumbered. We have to be smart. And he uses his eyes and his head and gestures over towards behind the tent.
and that's when you do notice. It also looks like one more appears from behind the bushes, a cultist brandishing a bone mace. She says, she starts to like pace, almost like a hunting cat, rubs a claw across her body in a seductive manner while looking towards the hunter. And you must be the brother of Lacone. He has been useful to our work thus far. He has even asked us to spare you, to enslave you. A fate worse than death, if you ask me.
On that we agree, if I know my brother so well. And he looks over at the others and looks to Kelt. Do you have a weapon that you're not going to throw?
She looks at him just kind of confused. What do you mean?
Throwing axes. You're going to throw it in, aren't you?
Yes.
Do you have anything you're going to wield whenever you run out of things to throw?
I'll save an axe.
Alright. If you need a weapon, call out. I'll throw my dagger. We take the witch first. She's the most dangerous.
She also has Farthnar as a shield. We must lure her away from him a bit, if we can.
He's on the ground. She's going to confront us. I'll try to take her out quickly. We need to get to cover because the others will start to attack.
Keltiel looks over at Hunter. Very well, we will find some cover, but it is them who should be worried. And she starts to finger various vials that are on her belt.
Yeah, and you guys can go ahead and do initiative. And due to the whole conversation going on, you do have a round to prepare if you wanted to like pull anything out and have it in your hands ready.
I have my bow, I'm good.
Keltiel is actually going to pull out a couple of potions instead. Well, she'll still keep the one axe, but she'll start to draw a potion with the left hand to pass over.
Yeah, so Keltiel would actually get to go first.
All right, let's see what her range is. For throwing, it's half of her strength. Is that right?
Right.
No, because she's an alchemist. She
No, no,
gets to...
no. Well, for the axe.
Oh, for the axe, yeah, half your strength.
Okay. So,
You can click on that ruler over there if you need to.
I was just double checking her strength. I don't have to look at it very often.
Yeah, she actually dropped Farthnar, so he doesn't have, she doesn't have total cover behind him anymore. He's on the ground, kind of unconscious, it seems. And she's like pacing a little bit away from him right now in kind of a stalking manner.
Okay. Shoot. All right. I think Keltiel is going to go behind this altar and take cover, and then can she throw a potion trying to make sure that Farthnar doesn't end up in its radius?
She
1.5
can,
hexes.
like if you want to aim, hit right there, is that what you mean?
Yeah.
And try to get the slave or the witch in the blast radius.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go for that. I mean, it's dangerous, but what isn't dangerous?
Walter Peck might not have to worry about showing up tonight.
So is my throwing under cast or skill checks, or do I need to roll off my...
I think it's under your attacks, your regular attacks.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
What kind of potion is this?
It's the lightning in a bottle.
Oh, God.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry, my screen's having trouble.
no problem. Yes, it is time for the music. Just gotta get the buffer music going.
Yes. Do it. Hoo-hoo!
Oh, that sounded good.
It's not a 1. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Woo, I didn't set everyone on fire. Or shock them, I guess, in this case.
Wow,
I think it's
that's
good enough that she at least didn't hit Farthnar.
Yeah, the potion is flying through the air, and what is the actual target number to hit where you're hitting? Okay, so it was a 9 to hit your location, or an 8. So it's like going right where you want it to go right now, kind of slow motion. Oh. And she is going to try and use one of her abilities, which is an astral mirror, to give her a reroll to defend a magic attack. It's a once per combat thing. So she's going to try that. Here's her new roll. And fails, so you get to roll the damage of that. When the power damage comes up, you can put a 10 in there.
Well, I don't think we've got this set up under spell effects, do we?
No, it's not under spell effects. It's under damage. And then you'll go to Vial of Thunder.
Is times 10?
Oh, you got them all in there.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you need to let me make some more of these.
Yeah, it's a D8 times 10.
Jesus.
So it could be very good or very, very horrible. She has a +1 though on it.
That's bad.
So she rolled it.
Oh, wow.
Damn. So you rolled a 1.
Well, it
plus
should
1.
have been a... No, I didn't add a +1, so it should actually be...
That's right. Okay, so that is actually
30.
a 30. 30 damage though, not bad, and it didn't damage Farthnar. So what's that look like? It wounds her, knocks her to the ground.
Keltiel runs behind the altar and trades hands, and well, she probably doesn't. She can probably throw with both. So she tosses the vial of thunder, and it hits exactly where she wants it to. And as it explodes on the ground, white-blue streaks flash out, encompassing the whole area, including the witch, and her body convulses for a moment as the blue light courses through her, and even from this distance you can smell burnt hair.
Nice. So that was 1, and you have 3 magic attacks, so you can produce another potion for...
Yeah, actually, I have 2 more magic attacks because I did roll for the quick attack, and I got it, so...
So you can at least get 1 more.
Yeah, so she's going to go for 1 more vial of thunder.
Same place and everything?
Yep.
Maybe it looks something like this. Boom.
That's actually an 18. I forgot to put my modifier in there.
Oh, nice. And she's on the ground, so she's suffering a -1 right now. Boom, that's a hit. So when you're doing the damage, you can put a 1 in there when it comes up modifier, and then a 10 for the power damage. Not
That's
nice.
more like it.
That hurts her, like, pretty bad.
So yeah, like a gunslinger, she reaches into her holster, quick draws another vial, not even looking at it, and tosses it in the exact spot. And the witch, still stunned from the previous one, doesn't get out of the way, and she's just covered in the blue light.
Nice. And then it is her turn. The lightning dissipates in the aura of the effect, and you can see her, like, enraged. She jumps up, produces a pouch from her belt. I was going to say, after she changed her form, into this wicked, nasty thing, she wasn't totally naked as the illusion gave way. She actually does have a little bit of garb on her, and different feathers and, like, crow's hands, crow's claws hanging off of her. So she produces some kind of weird pouch, and shouts to the others, take them, and throws it at her feet, creating some kind of blast. You can see she mist forms and takes off. It looks like she appears to stream off towards the manor when she takes the mist form. You can kind of hear her screeching angrily, as definitely unhappy that she was getting her ass kicked right there.
Keltiel gives a little cry of frustration at that. Ah, no, she's getting away.
And that's when you notice this one. He steps forward and he fires a dead-eye shot towards Keltiel, but you have a lot of cover there, which is a good thing. So when it comes to your defense, you're going to want to add a 6 to the modifier to your defense. So you have +6 to dodge.
No, he got me.
Oh, damn.
I do have some armor, though.
How much armor do you have?
Let me double check. I think I have 4.
Nice. 4 armor?
I'm double checking. I'm sorry. I'm looking at
Oh,
things
no,
I
it's
don't
okay.
normally have to look at. Yeah. 4.
It's all good. Okay, cool. So you only take 6. You have to take it off your little green bow there. That's not bad. Doesn't even knock you down, but arrow flies through the air, and he makes it right over the altar, and it kind of slices your arm. He pulls one more. Oh, no, he's out of actions. So now it is Hunter.
Hunter, seeing the witch has left, breathes deep, sees the one shooting arrows, and figures he's the next one to take care of. He runs over, or moves over. I think that is a run for me, unfortunately. He runs over to get into cover next to Keltiel. That is a run. And he's going to try to go ahead and make a dead-eye shot at the one who just fired. I do have running shot, so I don't think I suffer any negative modifiers, but I'm going to go ahead and dead-eye it. Free action to load the arrow and then fire at him.
Cool. So it'll just be 2 actions for the Deadeye shot. And you get a +2 modifier for the aim. This guy has a little bit of cover behind that wall there. Oh, nice. Ah, the cover does not save him, though.
Is that ×2 power damage?
Mm-hmm. And what kind of arrows are you using right there?
Standard. I didn't declare anything, so standard.
Okay, cool.
That would also penetrate 10 points of armor if he has any, because I have armor piercing.
Ah, yeah.
Oh, no, it's natural 18. Never mind, disregard. He gets his armor.
Ah, okay. $30 damage. It knocks him down. Unfortunately, that knocks him to full cover. What would you like to do after that?
Hunter is going to go ahead, quickly knock an arrow. See the one who's next to him standing up that is dressed in cult garb, and he has dealt with cultists before. Knows that one may be a problem. Let's see what. I'm going to go ahead and burn one frenzy and take another dead-eye shot at him.
Excellent. And this guy has no cover at all.
That is
He's
a
just
natural. 18, so any armor he has is gone.
Oh, nice. And the only way he would dodge that is a crit, I think. Yep, got him.
Right.
That one's also ×2. Oh, nice. That knocks him down. Pretty bad, too.
And Hunter's taking shots. Knocks a couple of them back. Stay low. We can handle these odds. We can get the witch later.
Yes. I'm going to need to move up. Next round, I'm going to be moving for the tree. She points to a tree.
I'll try to keep their attention.
Alright, you notice Krim takes that arrow like through his leg and falls in the snow there. He struggles in the snow a little bit up to one knee and points his finger and starts to cast a spell. Looks like he's pointing at the hunter there. And you it is a physical defense, so you will have that same +6, because I'm imagining you guys are probably pretty low cover behind that wall there.
I will... Let's see. That's a pretty decent roll. I think I'm going to use opposition on this and burn frenzy to do it.
Alright.
So that is going to be dexterity check because I don't have acrobatics, and it'll give me bonuses depending on what I roll to defense.
Every 5 on the target number, right? You get an extra +1.
Since it's a +1.
So that'll give you an extra +1.
7.
Oh, nice.
Woo-hoo.
So how does that look as the spell misses you there?
How does a blood vice look exactly as far as the effect of it?
I would imagine it probably like red swirling and bones, maybe claws like that are coming at you through the air.
Hunter sees them coming and just grabs the wraps of these drums real quick and throws them in front of the spell while he ducks behind the altar further.
Awesome, and it just kind of entangles the drums there, and then you notice Krim is definitely in pain from the arrow in his leg, and that's it for him. It's Fionn. Fionn's turn. He has a long sword, and he is running towards you through the snow, but he can only get to here. So that is it. He's not going to throw anything or anything like that, and then it's now Keltiel's turn.
Keltiel nods at Hunter, and she's going to spend this round moving, so I need to measure this out. Can she jump over the altar? How would that affect movement?
You can do that. You just make a dexterity check.
And if I fail it, then she
Then you bust your
falls
ass.
on her
Yeah.
butt. Okay.
Probably can't
Then
move
she
anymore.
wants to jump over and get to here.
Cool. So target number is pretty simple. It's a 3. But it'll save you some movement. Oh, nice. You're like a ninja over that thing.
So she can actually still attack. She'll just get a negative, right?
Actually, don't even take
That
a
was
negative.
8. Oh, she doesn't? Oh, okay, cool.
Just don't even take it because of that awesome dex check.
All right, so she is going to throw another vial of thunder right in between these guys. I realize that Hawk has probably got quite a bit of cover from it, but we'll see how that goes.
Looks like the target number to hit that is 8.
Easy.
Oh, beautiful throw. Let's see, Krim. He's going to try to dodge first. And he fails horribly. And it looks like it's enough, to envelop that whole area. And it does not save Hawk at all either. The whole blast rage just rips up the stones there. Go ahead. $40 damage. They're both dead. What's that look like?
Keltiel just hurdles over the altar like a deer and runs, positions herself back to the tree, pulls out a final vial of thunder and tosses it, landing directly between Hawk and Kryn. And the white ball of sizzling light engulfs them both, and you can hear their screams very briefly, and then they collapse to the ground.
Nice. And is that it for you? Or?
Yeah, Keltiel will just shoot Hunter a quick grin over her shoulder, but she doesn't really have a good shot at the other one, so...
Okay. Hunter's turn. Hunter, you notice, yeah, I think you'll have to move, actually, to get a shot on that guy, huh? Can you guys hear me?
I can.
Are you muted, Ghost?
Oh, I'm stupid. I have to adjust the volume because I'm recording on the actual microphone. So yeah, what did I notice? I'm sorry. You said I noticed something?
No, you're good. You noticed it already. I guess you couldn't see the guy behind the tree very well.
No, not really. Maybe it's like a leg or something, so I knew where he was but couldn't shoot him. So Hunter he nods to Keltiel about the bomb, and then repositions himself, and I'm going to burn a frenzy, and I'm going to shoot 4 arrows in a rapid fire attack against this guy.
Yes.
Ugh. You can't aim a rapid fire if I burn another frenzy, can you? Oh, not gonna matter, probably. No, let's keep it. No, I missed. Feels
Well,
bad.
he would have an additional attack, but that is it for him. He just shouts at you as he charges. Was that all of your, or do you want to launch that last one?
No, I'll take my lumps from that.
Okay. He's dead. I can remove him. I'm surprised it didn't take it off already. Alright, here he comes. He is going to reach you, fortunately. When he gets to you, he is going to try a heavy attack. He just takes his sword back and tries to cut you in half with a rage attack. But he rolls a 5. Oh. Now, Oh crap, that's a natural one, isn't it? Damn it. $22 damage. Minus your armor. Oh no, not minus your armor. I think you're down anyway, aren't you? Is that over here? Are you muted again?
I did 22, so yes, I'm down anyway. Do you hear me?
No.
Yeah, they did 22. I'm down anyway. There's no greaves to break.
Okay. Alright, so he comes across and slices up your leg and across your chest, your armor, taking the brunt of the torso damage, but it takes you to the ground. Let's see, he is going to burn a frenzy and try a single attack while you're on the ground. So you'll get a -1 modifier to defend this attack. Oh, but you're an excellent dodge there. So you get a single attack right back at him if you have anything you can do.
I mean, it depends on what you let me do. I could go for my spear, I guess, for my back and try to stab him with my knife.
Oh, you have quick draw with your bow. You could easily pull it out, hit him point blank if you wanted.
Oh god, point blank shot with a bow? Okay. I guess so, yeah.
I mean, it's only a single attack. You'll get an extra +2 to hit for point blank.
18.
I guess you're kind of like laying back away from him. He comes down. Comes down to stab. And that's a hit. A little bit of damage to him. So he comes down to stab at you, and you kind of roll to the side or fire a single arrow across his arm. Some of his armor soaks the brunt of the damage there, and it is now Keltiel's turn.
She is going to run forward to about here and throw an axe because she doesn't want to risk Hunter.
And you can rage attack, throw that axe if you want to, if you can spend 2 actions.
She can. What does that do?
Melee actions.
What does that do?
That'll do ×2 power damage if it hits.
Oh, got it.
I think you have just 2 leave. But you could burn a frenzy to make it a rage attack if you like.
Okay, yeah, I'll burn a frenzy.
He's like mostly focused on the hunter. Good. That's an armor defeating attack there. So when your power damage pops up, just hit a 2 and hit enter. 16 damage. Not enough to knock him down. What's that look like?
Seeing Hunter get knocked down, she makes a quick dash, pulls with the axe in her right hand and just lets fly. Hits him somewhere in the shoulder. Digs in deep, but nowhere critical.
It is now Hunter's turn.
Yeah, kind of rolling back, Hunter is going to probably try to get to like a knee and then just point blank Deadeye shot with a bow into this guy.
Nice. You'll get a +4 modifier, actually. He tries to dodge the attack, like turn to the side, but he does not. In time. Make 2. And that knocks him to the ground. What's that look like?
Yeah, so kind of doing a little bit of a roll on his back. On his neck, he kind of rolls backwards, gets to one knee, quickly knocks an arrow and fires it point blank into Andar's chest. And then after seeing him go to the ground, he will stand his full height and then knock another arrow and fire it into him again for another Deadeye, burning another frenzy.
Oh, nice. Oh. Armor defeating again. Oh, that can kill.
Oh my gosh.
He was sideways too, so it looks like what happened there?
So he falls down on his side, and Hunter draws the arrow back and fires it. Goes through his shoulder, and then out through his neck, and he lays there in a crumpled heap, bleeding. Hunter actually starts breathing heavily, and draws out his knife and just walks up and just starts stabbing this guy repeatedly, just angry, just over and over again. Probably 15, 20 times. Covers himself in blood. And then just stops.
Keltiel had moved forward, seeing Fjarn go down. Was about to say something to Hunter, but was kind of taken aback by his frenzy. She gives him a minute and then says, Hunter, we must check on Farthnar, and I have some herbs for your wound.
Go ahead and check on him. I've got some. And he starts to pull his arrows out that are still usable.
Oh, actually, she says, and she pulls out some more vials. I was going to divide these among us all, but she shrugs and rolls 3 vials over to Hunter. I found these at the alchemist, potions of healing. And then she walks over to Farthnar.
Hunter will take them. Leaning back, he will drink one. And watch the healing effects start to overtake his body. get up and walk over Keltiel.
Keltiel kneels down in the snow, turns Farthnar over on his back, looking for any visible wounds. Starts kind of patting him in the face. Farthnar, wake up. Wake up.
You can see he's sleeping, and breathing. He makes no motion to awaken, though, even from a few.
The witch's spell.
Her eyebrows furrow. I don't know enough to know how long this will last. We should get him across the bridge.
Hunter looks at Farthnar and looks off in the distance to the keep. Fine. He shoulders his bow. Goes to lift Farthnar on his shoulder.
And Keltiel will grab her silver axe from where it had fallen and I suppose quickly rummage through that guy, see what she finds, but it's pretty much going to hurry after Hunter.
And Hunter's actually taken a second to wait. He leans Farthnar against a tree, rather dutifully after you look at Kelt and rummage through them quickly. They're all going in the fire.
Keltiel gets this funny expression on her face. Yes, we should burn them. Hunter, we should burn the bridge.
What?
We should take them all to the bridge. We should take Farthnar across. We should set up a rope on this side somewhere. And then cross and then burn the bridge. And then no one will be able to cross back into the village, including them, including Wrath. We have the rope. We have the grappling hook.
He looks at the cave and looks over at the keep.
We will come back. I promise you. I keep my promises.
I know. He walks away from the cave and shoulders Farthnar again. We have to hurry. It's going to be dark soon.
Yes. She looks back at the keep too. As they start walking, she puts a hand on Hunter's shoulder. I know it must be hard to be this close. It must feel like he will slip through your fingers any minute.
We've played this game before. Hide and seek. I was always good at finding him. I'm more worried about you, to be honest.
She looks at him a little bit, but finds it hard to know exactly with the mask on and unable to see his expression. It's a little disconcerting. Don't worry about me. That's you who's in trouble.
I'm sorry.
So am I. She shrugs. But for now, there's nothing to be done about it.
No, there isn't. Hunter picks Farthnar up and begins to walk down the trail.
Keltiel stays close. How far are we actually from... We're not too far from the bridge, are we? Just kind of across the...
Yeah, it would take maybe 3 minutes to get there actually. Yeah, it's not too far at all. Are you burning the bodies there of those men there, or are you
Yeah.
just gonna take Farthnar?
I think we should bring them all. I do think we should burn the bridge.
I don't know if we're gonna be able to move all those bodies that quickly. We could take a torch and torch the whole bridge with.
You could, yeah.
If it looks like it's going to take too long, we'll, torch them. Just throw them in. That whole building's burning still, actually, probably, or at least smoking. The tent we set on fire.
We can pile them up in that little fire right there. Should be good enough.
Yeah.
Burn down all of this little area here.
Burn it all.
Yeah, it'd probably take a while to drag those bodies back and forth, but you could definitely fire bridge. You could burn those guys there on top of that, and then do that if you like,
Yeah.
or whatever.
So we'll just. Hunter would try to just put them in the fire here, but when we get to the
Yeah,
bridge,
if that's just as quick, or quicker anyway, so.
And you are going to search them, you said?
I would have let Kelt do it. Yeah. And then whenever she was done looking through them, they go in the fire.
You notice behind the helmet, the one guy, Fjorn, actually has some decent armor. It's kind of heavy. I don't know if anybody could handle any of the heavier armor.
Yeah, and Kelt wears light.
So would you rather just helmet and him with the other guys? The cultist wearing the mask offer a simple mask, and his padded armor is pretty simple. I think you guys have better armor. You guys have leather. So no use there. But they do have some coins on them. If you'd like to take that.
Yeah, the dead can't spend money.
5 gold. You make off of a couple of them. You notice their eyes very dark, like these guys haven't slept, in a long time. It seems like they're really worn and just ragged, probably used to guard, as slaves for a while. You don't believe they weren't acting possessed, like Hunter, you made your creature lore check, and I forgot to mention something about that, but you don't believe the witches suffer any damage from sunlight, of course, or from silver, as many monsters do, but you know that fire and elemental attacks, obviously, from Kelt's badass. There is also some a quiver.
Yeah, I would take the quiver for sure. The extra arrow, well, probably just the arrows mainly.
And a short bow. 10 arrows, a short bow.
He can take the short bow into the next life with him. I'll just take his arrows.
And the longsword. Anybody want Fjorn's longsword?
I'll keep it in case Farthnar wants it.
Okay. And there was the bone mace, but that's pretty crappy weapon. That one does 2d6 plus 1, I think. Yep. So it does not take long for you guys to make the trek back over to the bridge. You can just kind of picking up and the remains of the dead that you killed earlier laying in the snow. You can see some of the snow is covered over the there. More than there, but there's some burnt lumber and things like that. Still a little bit of fire.
Wrath, we hurried us across. We didn't burn these bodies, did we?
No, they're actually still there.
Well, we can burn them with the bridge, so we can just pile them all up.
Hunter would get far across and then start doing that. Also, Rogue, you're a bit choppy for me.
I prepared the loot for you. From this, the loot from the bridge guards. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys that. Should be available to you. There are quite a few items in there. You can take whatever you want. Burn the rest or whatever you want to.
Yeah, I think everything.
Hunter would take the backpack. It's better than what he has. I think it's a large. A small backpack.
Can I do a check on the tea to see if it's anything interesting? Like an alchemy check on the tea, just to make sure it's just tea.
Yeah, you can do that. You can either do plant lore if you like, or whichever one's better. Okay. Am I sounding okay to you guys coming through?
A little better.
It cuts in and out every now and then.
Okay.
I'm getting the gist of what you're saying, but there's quite a bit that gets left out, unfortunately.
All right. Looking through the remains of these guys, you're able to get some of the coins and stuff like that. Yeah, the jug of the you may look at it in the light as best you can. There's something about it you don't maybe a hint of some kind of intoxicant in there. It's a really good roll, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you you probably shouldn't take it. Some kind of liquid to maybe bring down your will, make you easy to control.
Got it.
You could save it if you like and use it for other purposes.
I don't think so. That's a lot of liquid to carry around. So I can control someone. So
Right.
she'll probably just throw it down in the gorge.
Right. And there's also the wineskin. If you want to make another check on that. Oh my God.
What the heck? Oh, she knows like who made this wine.
This is actually a really expensive wine, Eldrin design. So it does have some nice effects to it, and it looks like it's a little bit more than halfway filled. It smells really.
Oh, this is a fine Eldrin wine. She'll cork it back up, after taking a little sip, and then, finish up with what they're doing.
And you bring the ranger across, lay him in, pile the rest of the bodies on here and burn this bridge.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Alright, you guys pile them all up. It doesn't take you too long to do all this. And you can easily get some of the flames, still burning embers from the logs of the easily catches fire. Starts to erupt into flames, and notice as you're watching the flames start to curl around the timbers, parts of the bridge start to fall off down into the gorge there. It's about almost a 50-foot drop, you'd say, down into the waters that are pretty quickly moving by. Past the bridge, you notice some large winged creatures flapping around the larger than bats, larger than crows. Could be buzzards, something similar to that, flying around the Jarl's Manor tower. I just want to do after that.
Hunter's going to look at the creatures and see if it seems like anything that is familiar to him. Anything he's encountered or read about before. See if it could be something that his brother is using as spies or something of that nature. His brother's not above using animals. So I'd like to creature lure it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know for sure that there's a creature called the Hrailsfeld, which is a eater of the dead. That one's a really large creature that's known to eat horses and things like that. But these are much smaller. They could be offspring of it, perhaps, but they do carcasses, and they seem to be attracted to something around that manor.
I think Kelt was going to say something.
Oh, Gelt doesn't actually notice the creatures. She has been watching the fire. She's almost hypnotized by it.
Oh, that's right.
She has a strange little half smile on her face as she just watches the bridge burn and the timbers start to fall into the gorge. She seems to be breathing a little heavy.
Looks at Kelvin, looks back at the keep. We have to get moving. My brother's spies are out.
And she looks up at you as if she almost had forgotten where they were or that you were there. Oh, yes. She looks around. I think Vagrant's house is close. We should go there. He always had things hidden, mostly from me, but perhaps it escaped the scavengers.
Just to clarify, Rogue, is Vagrant's house here? Or is it back in where we're from?
This is his old house. He's from Score.
Okay, disregard.
Yeah, it's in the crafts district, so it was pretty close to the herbalists. It's a little bit farther back in the back alley, but yeah, it was her old master where she used.
Hunter looks at the bridge and then looks to Kelt and nods, and we'll need more of that stuff to take care of this.
Fortunately, I found quite a few things at the alchemist shop at the herbalist's, and I think I can whip up another batch.
Make as much as you can. We'll need it for the witch. He stops for a second. Fire. Make lots of fire.
She stops and looks up at him, and a wide grin spreads across her face. They can play with my mind, but they can't take my magic, and they can't take my fire. I can make fire.
Good. He looks at the approaching man and goes for his dagger initially, but recognizes it's a friendly face.
Yeah, you notice Yaren step out from behind a rock. He seems very tempted to come out this way, even to come out this far. And he says, very scared look on his face. And he looks at the ranger and kind of frowns. Is he going to be okay?
I think so, but he cannot take you to Hammerfall, at least not tonight. Keltiel bites her lip. You may want to wait till morning. I have an idea, though.
Aye.
She starts rummaging in her pack, and she pulls out a scroll case and opens it up, starts sorting through some things inside, and then slows down and starts handling some old crumbling scrolls very delicately. Yes, here. These are very old, and I don't understand all of them, but this here, and she points to a circle diagram on the scroll. And there's some spidery writing around it. I think I can do this around your house, and it will protect you from the terrors until morning.
Oh, yes. That would be very good. Kind of you.
This is ancient magic. I've never seen it done, but I've heard about it. And, well, the basic form looks fairly simple, so yes, I think we can.
Would you like the ranger to stay?
Keltiel looks at Farthnar and starts to nod, and then suddenly she stops and looks at Hunter. Hunter, I don't know if you know any... The Vitch was all over him. Do you think he is safe?
I don't know how many encounters I've had with witches this rogue. Would I be familiar with any kind of charm spells that they use or anything like that?
You're not really sure about that.
Hunter rubs his chin and looks at Kelt. I can't say for certain. Best to tie him up if you're going to keep him there.
I'm worried even... I think we should keep him with us and Vagrants tonight. We can tie him up there. I don't want him around the children.
If that's what you think. I don't know much about it.
I wish I knew more. But we'll make another circle around Vagrant's house. Hopefully that will give us some measure of protection.
If not, I'll have to set traps. And he looks at Yaron. Do you remember the two that we were with? Sorry, Rug, I didn't hear you.
I remember. Where are they?
Don't know. Doesn't matter. Don't trust them. They're monsters.
And Keltiel looks up and there's angry tears in her eyes. She had forgotten about it for just a moment. We were all fooled. That is no excuse. I knew from the start in my heart that wrath had a hidden purpose. Oh, he has deceived my sister into performing some foul rite, and now she has been utterly possessed by an evil spirit, a servant of whatever dark god wrath follows.
The Templar. He's
Yes.
evil.
Yes. There in the bowels of that cavern, surrounded by the corpses of slain Score warriors, he stabbed her through the heart with a cursed blade. It was glowing red, and she died. But then she rose again, but she spoke with a voice that was not hers. She calls herself Vengeance now, and what their intentions are, I can only guess. They claim to be here to save the world, but these minions of evil have openly declared that we mortals are vermin and insects, so they aren't saving it for us. They may be saving it from us. Perhaps we are all caught between warring factions from the outer darknesses. But either way, when you reach Hammerfall, you must find Vagrant and spread the word. Yuya is not Yuya anymore. What is left of her is trapped. And Wrath is a deceiver and some kind of devil. As Hunter said, they cannot be trusted. They cannot be allowed to steal anyone else's sister or daughter or son to be used as flesh dolls for their kind.
Hunter looks at Yaron, looks at Keltiel and nods. I saw it with my own eyes. I've seen many undead. This looked similar, but different. They may be in league. I don't know, but I know that they can't be trusted. Evil took place in that cavern.
By the gods, would they come back for us?
I don't know.
We burnt the bridge. They can't fly. You should be safe until morning. And I don't think their focus is on you.
Oh, I see. He swallows hard and looks over at the ranger body. Well, we can watch over the ranger. Hopefully they have not possessed him as well.
No, we'll take him.
We'll keep him at least for the night. Make sure he isn't mad or possessed, or I would just feel better with him under our eyes and away from the helpless one.
Oh, thank you so much.
But let's get back. I will start the circle. It shouldn't take long to make. I will just need a few candles.
All right, come with me. We'll get the supplies. And with that, doesn't take you guys long. Yaron helps you guys to move forth.
Fast forward with the roll. I don't know if you just want to fast forward with a roll for the circle magic over there and then have us move over to Vagrants and try another one there.
Yeah, that's cool. You can, oh, there's double of everything.
Doppelganger!
Yeah, you guys can make a roll while you're here.
I will, but what I'd like to do, because Hunter has seen the power of magic, but also has seen magic fail and is skeptical, so he is going to back up this circle magic with traps at both locations, focusing on where the people are if he doesn't have enough traps for both.
Okay, yeah.
Keltiel's
Yeah.
totally supportive of this. She clarifies the circle will only protect
Can
against
you hear?
evil spirits. You're trapped against. With that, she starts dragging the wall around and drop on the circle. Bring the candle.
I'm afraid that I missed about all of that, unfortunately.
Yes, that sucks so much.
That drop, so you're sounding better now, Rogue, but that unfortunately slipped. That drop, that fell off the face of the fucking planet.
Okay.
It sounded so good, too. Oh my god.
It did.
Okay.
It did.
I'm sorry. So can
No.
Yeah,
can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead. No, I want to hear it.
Okay.
Go ahead and do it again.
Okay, so she just takes a stick and draws a circle in the snow around the house and drops blood at certain points, places candles at, her best assessment of north and south and east and west. And she stands in the middle of the circle and picks up the scroll, starts reading from it. She faces north. It says, "O northern stone, ancient earth mother, a child of this plain does call on you to attend the circle and steady her feet. East wind, I do summon, stir, and call you now to witness this rite and guard this circle. Powers of air, move thy cool essence about me and rouse my senses against deception." And she turns and faces south. "Southern fire, warmth of the sun, protect my heart from ravagers and thieves. Burn their grasping will from my heart. Western waters, the death of every day," and she turns to the west, "from which we are all reborn. Renew my strength and bless my mind with clarity. We are bound by earth," and then she smears another drop of her thumb's blood in the center of the circle. "Bound by blood, I beseech you all to shield me, your daughter, against those that trespass, strangers and outsiders of this world." And with that, she stands in the middle of the circle and focuses her senses and her energy on the circle. Now I'm going to roll I'm just going to roll like my linguistics because it's not on here yet, so it's the same thing.
Oh, sorry about that.
Oh, I didn't add it till the last minute.
Okay, cool. Nice. You believe everything is in order? Runes placed, candles placed, words said?
And she'll, say goodbye to Jaren and then head over to where she thinks that Vagrun's place is as soon as Hunter's done with setting his traps.
Very nice traps, too. What kind of traps were these?
We're experimenting now, so Hunter is playing with some extra rope that he has, trying not to use too much of the rope for the grapple because they're going to have to use that, but trying to find extra rope that's around the immediate vicinity, and is actually setting pressure traps that are like, those tree traps that had the spikes on them that they had in Vietnam?
Yeah.
He's using those kind of traps on the doors, some tripwire traps, a few wooden stakes and spikes set up, something that perhaps swings down. If there's like, I'm getting very medieval on this. It's like a hanging blade for a swing down on if something tries to come in. Just pretty much, he's going to point out everything to Yarn and explain exactly how to get around it. If they need to, for some reason, leave, then he's gonna go through exactly how to get around in the room. There's very particular patterns, and so he tries to impart that to Yaren and anyone else who will listen as best he can. So if they need to leave for some reason, they know what routes to take, because otherwise they're gonna set off every trap.
Yeah. Yaren smiles and he says, I want to thank you for all you've done. Hopefully we could make it through one more night then.
Don't thank us until you're in Hammerfell.
Yes. And Vagrant should be there. He told me he was headed there.
I hope they made it there as well. The boy believed what the Templar said and was very happy.
Well, she shrugs. I don't know what to say. Perhaps the boy is too young to understand these things, but the others need to be told and warned. And you need to tell Vagrant.
I will.
The boy doesn't need some nobody's words about what he'll be in the future. He can make that decision for himself.
He nods reluctantly and he says, well, good luck to you. Good luck to you both.
Hunter nods and goes to collect Farthnar, carrying him again.
So they head over to Vagrant's, and she does kind of a repeat of the circle, even before entering the house. Oh, just try to get in now, motherfuckers.
Oh, nice.
Shame about those kids. They're gonna take the easy route. But we're good.
That's nice. And it takes you a while. As you're working on that one, you notice, let's see, it's been about a couple hours now, I guess, then, after 2 circles and the burning of the bridge and everything like that. So in our time, it'd be probably around 2 p.m. Still got some daylight left. And yeah, you head on inside, or as you're finishing up the circle, you hear something off in the distance, and it sounds like drums. And then you can hear a horn blow.
Keltiel shivers at the sound. Looks at Hunter. We should get inside.
We should. And Hunter will drop his cooking ladle for now, and then start to set up traps in the house quickly before he resumes his cooking.
You guys head on into the house. You can hear the horn. It goes off one more time. As you're heading in, you want to put Farthnor, probably like lean him up, or did you want to tie him up?
Oh, he's absolutely gonna be tied up.
Yeah, Keltiel feels a little bad about it, but she'd feel worse if he wakes up a zombie.
Yeah, Hunter just goes through and ropes him up, and it's gonna keep him kind of on the floor. Maybe not the most comfortable position, but not something he can easily get up from. Hands tied behind his back and ankles tied as well.
Yeah, Keltiel will look around for maybe a pillow or something to make him more comfortable, but he's got to be tied up.
All right. Once you get inside here, too, um, uh, you believe that the drums have ceased after a little while. As you go over to close up the windows, you can see a fog forming um, in the mountains. It seems to be trailing from the mountains down towards the manor. You don't know if it had something to do with maybe a ritual that they were doing or what, but it seems they may have summoned this fog because it certainly doesn't seem natural. But it is nice to be back inside your old home in here, and it seems that it might have been pilfered through a little bit, but not everything was taken from Vagrant's place. You notice the old cage, too, still dangling in the corner of the room. The cage is open, though, and you notice that there's still fresh droppings in there. And after looking around the room for a little bit, you hear a squawk and the flapping of wings come out of the bedroom, and a crow lands. The messenger crows that Vagrant used to use lands on the table near one of his old books. And it kind of...
She looks at the crow. I know you. Come here. Which one are you? Blackie? Quip? Quill? And she starts to go toward the bird. Slowly.
It just looks at you and turns its head to the side. It doesn't seem afraid of you at all. It flaps its wings a little bit and seems to be like cleaning itself.
Now, were these messenger birds, did they carry messages or did they like speak a couple words or something?
Yeah, they can definitely carry messages.
Okay. Does it have a message on it by any chance?
No, it doesn't. You notice that there are tiny parchments and stuff that he used to use. Like you had totally forgotten about this, until seeing it again. That there were some old parchments there. You don't know if he used the birds or left them there. He probably, you don't think he would have left them there. He probably had somebody taking care of them. But they, never showed up for obvious reasons.
Does she know how to use the birds? I mean, do they go over to Geltarn or Hammerfall or what?
Yeah, you think that they were color-coded on these scrolls. You think that's how he used them, but you're not totally sure. You could try to investigate.
She'll pull some bread out of her bag or, travel rations or whatever and try to lure the crow back into the cage. But she's more concerned with finding out what else of use is in this place at the moment.
All right. Hunter, what are you going to be doing?
After setting up traps in the house, Hunter is going to obviously close and secure all windows and make sure everything is locked up. Just kind of do a quick once over of the home to make sure everything's shut and as secure as it can be against the dead. And it's going to focus on making a meal from the foods that were in that backpack that he took from the bridge, throwing away whatever is in poor condition, and then just using whatever hearth there might be inside, if there is one.
I'm sure there's
Yeah.
quite a good one.
Yeah, actually, in the bedchamber, you notice there's still a lot of candles in there. The bedchamber, so I'll show you guys real quick. You can light the candles in there, and you can see the old Gelt skull hanging above the bed there. There's a few of them in that chamber. Some old paintings on the walls. Lots of scrolls and parchments and books and stuff like that. It does look like somebody with a keen eye came and took most of the most valuable things. But they didn't have enough time to get everything. So you will still find things in here. And you could still use the library here if you had the research skill to do that.
Yeah.
Also, there is a nice alchemical setup where you could make potions and mix things. There's a few hiding spots, too, that you remember when you were young, like under the bed. There was a floorboard, piece of floorboard that you could move where he used to hide things.
Yeah, Kelt moves around, straightening up the alchemical area, looking in all his little hidey holes for things that might have been overlooked. Sorts through his library for any, valuable books that might have been overlooked. Overall, feeling a little safer, but also angry that someone came into basically what was her home and treated it this way. While she's doing that also, she looks at Hunter and says, "Did you hear what the witch said about Avos?"
Yeah, I've been suspecting it, to be honest.
She shakes her head. I wanted to believe he was under a spell or that there was some other explanation, but it appears he has been part of this all along.
And we can guess his reasons.
Yes, they must have promised him something to do with his family,
His son, most
his
likely.
son.
If he knew what that deal meant, he wouldn't have taken it. Nothing ever comes back the same.
There's always someone who's willing to try.
And hopefully I can hunt down every last single someone who is. He goes back to cooking a bit.
Keltiel rummages around for a bit and sees what she can find, and then she'll start setting up the alchemical station with their ingredients for witch fire and for vial of thunder.
You notice on the table there are some old plans for some kind of weapon. Looks like a crossbow that he was designing, where the bolts would actually hold the potions. Small vials that he would create, possibly for things like vials of thunder and stuff like that, where you could fire the crossbow bolt and create an explosive bolt by chance.
Vagrant, you sly dog. You never told me about this. She just mutters to herself, and then she rolls up the plans and sticks them in her pack.
And under the bed, that old hiding spot. Let's see real quick. In that old hiding spot, you notice there is a pouch with coins in it, and there's the prototype of the crossbow with 3 bolts. The bolts have been designed metal, kind of twisting in a orbish shape, where you could place a potion inside. But there's only 3, unfortunately. But the crossbow could be used, you think, if you would like to take it and test it out.
Yeah, she'll take it. Hunter. And she holds up the crossbow. What do you make of this? And she shows him the bolts with the little vials on it. Do you think this would work?
Was your master a wise man?
The smartest man I ever knew.
It's worth a shot. I can teach you how to use a crossbow. Somewhat.
She nods. I'm sure it will take a bit. Mechanically, it looks fairly simple, but she shrugs. I've honestly never really used a bow before. I thank you.
The thing to know about crossbows, they're made for people who aren't used to using them, but they take longer to load. So, you have to make sure you're a good distance away.
I think that's the whole point. The range on this. And she starts tugging at the crossbow string, testing its pull. It must go forever.
It would be useful to be able to shoot your potions that far. But undead have a habit of popping up when you least expect them.
Well, it certainly bears experimenting with, but back to the business at hand. It should take me a few hours, and we'll see how far I get.
Hunter nods. If you need anything else, let me know. I'm not far. I'll be keeping an eye on Farthnar. You can take the mattress, the bed. I'm sure you'll need it more.
Well, if we sleep at all, this will take quite a while. But thank you.
Make sure you do get rest. You can't be half asleep tomorrow.
And she frowns. We'll see how it goes here. But yes, and you must sleep too.
Hunter will nod and look at Kelt one more time and then leave to go sit and watch Farthnar as he's doing some maintenance upkeep on his bow to make sure it's in good shape. Mechanically rogue, it would just be I'm doing my weapon of choice for it, making sure everything's being maintained.
Okay, cool, yeah.
And Kelt will get all the ingredients out for the thunder and for the witchfire, sort them into their various piles, start mashing things with the pestle and mortar, and And she's going to see how much witch fire and how much vials of thunder she can make and how long it takes. So let's look at those charts.
Ooh. All right. The
Okay, so we are in a warm, dry, good,
yeah,
dimly lit or well lit chamber or laboratory.
let's do laboratory because it's a nice one. And,
Okay.
You got the hookup in here.
So a batch times 3 means 3 of each.
Yeah, you could make 3.
So her target number would be 6, correct?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no. She can't do a batch times 3. She can only do a batch times 2 because she's an expert. Am I right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, so target number 5, and I'll do the first roll for the thunder and then the second roll for the witchfire.
Oh. This is kind of dangerous too.
Thanks for that.
She'll shut the door between them while she's doing this, actually. If you hear a loud noise, don't come in without knocking, she says before shutting it.
Behind the mask, Hunter will look confused, but will just look at the door and then look back at Farthnar.
Opens the gate to the...
Nope.
Oh, nice.
All good here. All good here.
Nice. There's 2 potions.
All right, so we should have 2 of each. It probably takes a few hours.
Yeah, that'll probably take the remainder of the night. But with the setup here, you're hooked up. You can pull those off for sure.
Yeah, she starts as early as she can, and then she'll probably catch like an hour or 2 of sleep when she's done, just collapse on the bed.
Did you guys want to take shifts in sleeping, or?
Well, Kelt didn't really
No.
sleep.
No, Hunter will stay up for as long as he'll, but he trusts himself enough. He's a very light sleeper, so he thinks he can catch a few hours sleep, and
Oh, that's right.
anything's gonna happen, he'll catch it. He trusts himself.
Yeah, because he's got that alertness.
So if something happens, that second alchemy roll may not have happened or may have happened later.
Yeah, we'll say that. Which one was made first?
I don't remember what I said.
Lightning, then witchfire.
Yeah,
Which
but
fire is the
Hunter did say that fire was more important, so
Did.
she may have changed her mind. So probably witchfire went first. Plus, it's what she's most familiar with. It's a good warm-up.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. Sounds good. So the witchfire's done, and you're working on the other stuff. As it gets nighttime, you hear those drums playing again. Distant drums. You can hear those chanting again.
Finished with her first batch, she starts to get annoyed. Why can't they keep it quiet? She opens the door to check on Hunter and Farthnar and let them know if he's still awake. I made the witch fire, but she sees him sleeping there. Oh, I guess he wakes up at the sound. What do you think it means?
Hunter stops messing with his bow and just kind of rubs his chin underneath the mask. It's likely to draw out rituals, work them into a frenzy for something. They take negative energy, use it to awful purpose. Might be what the drums are for.
I saw that fog earlier. I wonder what that was for.
Likely to mask their movement. We were barely able to see Farthnor and I whenever we bumped into the Undar in town a few nights ago. Those things would have killed us if we hadn't heard them.
Keltiel puts her eye into the crack in the shutters, looks out. Does the night look all foggy like that?
Yeah, it does. It looks like, unfortunately, the veil might be descending on this town here. It could be on purpose to blacken out the light, make it darker. The blood moon is supposed to be again tonight, and the festival of the dead takes place. Both you guys roll intelligence checks. Hunter, very well.
Hey, Rogue, my intelligence hasn't been updated. I have a much higher intelligence than that roll. I think. I have a 20. Oh, maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm smoking crack.
No, dice.
No.
You say
Okay.
20?
I was thinking of something else. I was thinking of the skills. Yeah, she has a 20.
Okay, no, you're good. 22 will be your next dice change.
Hunter, you think that perhaps there could be more sacrifices tonight.
What is it that makes me feel that way? Is it this particular rhythm of it? Was this something that happened and we located the tent, or?
Yeah, the tent being seems like they must, for some reason, they're trying to summon this power, and so they will sacrifice these souls to gain this power for some reason.
Hunter is sitting there with his knife, making sure it's sharpened, not on anything in particular, just on a stone or something might have found, and looks at Kelt. They're drawing power from this day, from the night. They're likely doing sacrifices again.
She closes her eyes and just takes a breath against that. We will make them pay.
Yes, we will.
You hear a knock on the door. Are you in there?
Hunter jumps up immediately.
Do we recognize the voice?
You do. It's Grill.
Keltiel.
Hunter looks at Keltiel and he just shakes his head and don't answer yet.
What are you doing out there, Grill?
He says, "Are you in there? Are you staying here?
What are you doing out there?
We need to leave. We cannot stay here for another night."
The house is the safest place you can be. Go back now, fool.
He says, "All of the children are crying."
Yes, that means they are alive. Keep them that way. Stay in the house.
Hunter's gonna go put a hand on Keltiel's shoulder and stop talking to it.
She looks at him curiously and then sort of gets the drift of what he's suggesting.
Stay here. And I'm gonna. Is there a shutter that I can kind of peek through to see outside the front door at all?
Yeah, yeah. You could check out and through the wood, and kind of see the front door area.
Yeah, he's gonna have his spear ready, but he's gonna try to stay to the side of the door and try to peek through some of the wood and the cracks to see if he actually sees Grill or what he sees.
You open the door, and when you peek out there, you don't see anybody at all. Come back here. We need your help.
He leans away from the door, looks at Kelt, and shakes his head.
Are you sure?
Yes.
She wrings her hands together a bit, not liking the idea that one of her friends might really be in need of help, but she tries to trust Hunter's instincts.
Yeah, you start to hear the strange slithering sounds of what you know are spirits, or possibly. It doesn't seem to get close to the windows though, or close to the door, or not enough to break in or anything like that. Are you looking outside at all? Sorry, go ahead.
And I would be looking outside. Again, I'd just be standing next to the door, and Hunter looks at it and go back to your masters. Tell my brother I'll be seeing him tomorrow. You waste our time.
Is the circle holding?
You believe in yourself, Keltiel. If it wasn't, they would be inside already.
She nods, swallows hard, and then tries to build up a little bit of pluck. Yes, leave. Tell your witch friends that they are not welcome here anymore.
You can hear somebody crying in the fog, and it sounds like Yuya.
You chose the wrong trick, she shouts. Yuya's dead.
And then after a little while, it seems to go away. The fog remains, and you can still hear the drums for quite some time. But it doesn't seem like they're around the house anymore at this moment. It seems like your circle could be holding.
Hunter will, after the crying stops, he'll go over and put a hand on Keltiel's shoulder. You've done well. They would have gotten in.
She's sat down on the floor and has been holding her hands over her ears, rocking just a little bit, muttering to herself, "It's not real. It's not her. Everyone is okay. Everyone in the house is okay." And then she looks up at Hunter, smiles a little bit. "Yes, it seems I found something useful just in the nick of time. Perhaps this scroll can teach us more. I wish we had more time."
Hunter sits down next to Kelt and He sits there for a moment, and then he'll fumble with his mask a bit. And remove it for just a small bit of time.
And
Looks at
Keltiel looks at him and her mouth is open just a little bit. Your face. And she smiles. It's not what I was expecting.
Probably a lot more deformed.
She laughs. Not at all. You look nice.
He kind of has a bit of a harsh expression, but nods. And he looks out. You've helped make this not so bad. Those people could have been lost. We could have all died. I don't know what you're feeling, but I'm glad that you didn't just leave this place when you have every reason to.
She looks at him. I had nowhere to go, Hunter. Nowhere's really home for me anymore. But still, I'm glad to have you as well. She reaches over, grabs some sticks from the kindling pile, holds one up, snaps it in half. This is us, each of us alone. Easy to break. And she picks up another one. This is me, this is you. And she picks up another one. Hopefully Farthnar. And she takes them in her hands and tries to snap them. And she can't. Greater than the sum of their parts. That's what I'm hoping we will be.
I think you're right. And he nods and gives a half smirk, but not a true one. And puts his mask back on. I won't be taking this off again until my brother is dead. I just wanted to let you know there's a real person under here. I know it's not always apparent.
It is nice to know. She is sitting on the floor next to him, kind of hooks one of her arms through his, and leans her head on his shoulder for a few moments and just sits there. Tries to get some calm into her mind.
You notice, Hunter, you're laying there with her, kind of enjoying the moment with her. And, you see somebody standing next to her. And he's got his face like right next to her. It almost makes you jump, you know, for a minute. And that face, he stands up. And you can hear him laugh. And he's like, Lewin. Lewin. He smiles. And he takes his mask off, and you can see it's your brother.
Lycus.
You notice that Keltiel's asleep, laying on you. And he's wearing black robes, the skull mask. He takes it off and smiles at you. For a second, you see the little brother, but his face, when he turns in the moonlight spilling into the window, you can see his face is all horribly scarred and decrepit. And he says, I just wanted to come and visit you. It's been so long, brother.
Too long, truly.
How have you been?
I think you can imagine how I've been, Lycos.
I guess I should skip the pleasantries. This magic won't last very long. He kind of pets Keltiel's head. He says, so you picked a pretty one. He shudders for a minute. He says, the witches have plans for her.
I'm sure they do. They won't get to enjoy them.
That's where you're wrong, brother. The coven always get what they want.
The coven hasn't dealt with me.
They have agreed that if possible, we can save your body and use it as a vessel. Not just a mere slave. I would be insulted if you were used in such a manner, especially with what is planned.
The coven hasn't dealt with me before, brother. And neither have you up to this point. It's going to be a rude awakening tomorrow. The last thing you're going to see is my smiling face as you burn to death.
He says you did give her a scare today. You've gotten better. And your friend Avos, he's still with us. He did well in bringing you all here. You cannot blame him for everything. Most of the time he didn't even remember. The coven is good at sinking their claws in deep, not even allowing their prey to know they are wounded. I will win again after all.
You'll be the corpse atop a mountain of them tomorrow. A funeral pyre for you and your army. Just wait. Sleep well. Have pleasant dreams of victories you won't get to taste. You won't do what you did to us again.
And he smiles and he pulls his mask back on. It was good to see you, brother. And you can see him, he kind of fades away into the mist. And you jump for a minute and notice that you fell asleep next to Keltiel.
And Hunter wakes up with a start and puts his hands onto his head and puts his hand under his mask underneath his eyes. And you hear some choked breathing from time to time as he's reliving again the night that all of it went wrong.
Is Keltiel still asleep?
You wake up when you notice him moving, and you also notice Farthnar is moving. He's kind of grunting in his sleep and starting to seem like he's uneasy, not happy anymore.
She looks at Hunter for a moment, not quite sure what's going on, groggy from her little nap. Seen him. So hard to tell with the mask, but he looks a little disturbed. But Farthnar moving around grabs her attention. Hunter, I don't know. I think he might be waking up.
Yeah, I'll check. Gets up with the start. He goes over with the spear and pokes Farthnar with the blunt end. Ranger.
Farthnar kind of groans and kind of mumbles, why does it feel like my head is in a vice?
Keltiel will rush over, hearing him speak. Kind of kneel down. That's what happened when you kiss a witch. She gives him a hard look. What were you thinking? We were gone for less than an hour.
I remember, and he kind of looks kind of shocked at the revelation of what he's doing. He's like, I remember kissing you, then falling, and then I was here.
She colors for a moment. It must have been a spell. How do you feel besides the headache?
I'm a little confused. What do you mean magic? What happened? Wasn't that you?
No, that the slave girl, she was a witch, and she did something to you while we were in the cave.
Farthnar kind of looks around the room. The cave. Things slowly coming back to him, and he goes, where's everyone else?
Keltiel sits back, crosses her legs under her, shakes her head. I don't know where they are. I hate having to tell it again.
I'll do it. Steps up. Wrath lied. He used Yuya. Took her body and used it to summon some kind of spirit. An old lover. Stabbed Yuya through the heart. I watched her die and come back, but it wasn't her. He's evil. I don't know if he's in league with them or not, but they're abominations now.
Keltiel nods and kind of just wipes at her eyes with the heels of her hands, and trying not to lose it completely. She's still in there, but I don't know how much of her. I just know. And she kind of pounds her heart with her fist. Our blood right bond, it's like If a soul had a heartbeat, I can still feel hers inside me. But it's faint.
Farthnar is kind of sitting there in disbelief and looks at Keltiel and just apologizes. I am so sorry for what happened to you today. If there is anything left of her, I'm sure you'll find a way to bring her back.
She turns away. She chose this Farthnar. She chose to break her oath to me. I don't know. I can't think about this right now. And she leans forward again, touches his forehead and his cheeks, sees if he feels unnaturally warm or cold, something that would be dangerous, but then looks at Hunter. I think it's safe to untie him. Sees he's already started.
As long as I don't feel hot like that slave or witch or whatever she was, that should have been a warning sign to keep her tied up. I messed up. I'm sorry.
We all made mistakes. I should have killed her then. Should have known better.
Keltiel shakes her head. I think mercy is very rarely a mistake. I think the mistake was splitting up. We should not do that again.
How did you find me? Did you kill the witch?
Oh, no, she got away. Keltiel starts rubbing the Farthnar's wrists where he was tied up. We almost had her. But she said that Avos was a traitor, that he lured us here.
Avos, why? I've known him a long time. I don't understand why he'd do that.
He was under control. My brother told me so.
So what of the village?
I think they're okay. I found, and she starts digging, around for the scroll, handling it gently. I found this at the alchemist's shop. It's got so much in it I don't yet understand, but it details a magic circle, ancient magic, connected to the earth and this plane. Protects against spirits. I put one around this house and around the house with the others, and I think they'll be okay, but we can't check until morning.
Okay, how late is it? How close is it until morning?
We're about halfway through the night, I think. Keltiel gets up and jerks her head toward the crow. Quiet, you. What is wrong?
You notice it just looks at you, does its wings out, puts its mouth open for a minute.
Are you hungry?
Anybody have animal empathy or kinship or
I
anything?
have kinship.
Yeah, you can
Let's
make a roll
see.
like that if you like.
It's one of Vagrant's messenger crows.
I'm gonna whisper you something.
Yep. Farthnar kind of rubs his wrist and stares at the crow as it makes noise, just kind of trying to understand what's going on and kind of looks to the windows and the doors and he goes, something's wrong. Something's off. And you
What do you
kind of
mean?
see him, where's my bow?
Hunter gestures over to the side next to him. I didn't put it far. What's going on? Hunter's going to start looking out the windows and checking through shutters.
Something is spooking the crow.
There have been things surrounding the house all night, but they haven't managed to get in. But she says it wasn't making any noise then. The crow wasn't. She stands up, brushes off her skirts, finds her alchemist belt and fastens it on.
You notice downstairs, the front door, you start to hear creaks in the wood, kind of like on the porch near the front door. Something that has definitely passed this circle.
And the traps too, apparently. Or the traps.
Traps are inside.
Okay.
Yep.
Realizing that, Keltiel's going to grab Farthnar by the hand and pull him back toward Hunter and her. There's traps.
Shit. This is something powerful. It got past the circle.
If it has a physical form, it makes it easier. But it also makes it easier to kill.
You notice something crawl by the window really fast. And then you can hear movement on the roof.
Farthnar's bow or arrow kind of tracks the movement, waiting to see what's going to happen.
You know what I want to check for.
Oh yeah, that's high enough to know what it is. As you start to hear quite a bit of movement, it's not just one, it could be 3, 4, 5 peeking out the window. 2, you can see in the fog there's quite a few undead in the street coming towards the house. And on the roof is a creature called a lurker. And they're very fast, very agile type of creations, type of abomination created by necromancers.
Hunter looks outside and curses. Shit. And looks up at the ceiling. We're in trouble.
We must make them come through the door if we can.
Those ones won't. And he points up at the ceiling. Lurkers. They're very quick, fast. They can probably bash through windows, get through any openings. There are undead coming down the street as well.
How many?
At least 4 or 5 lurkers on the roof. Undead, I'm not certain. I can barely see in the fog.
Keltiel puts her back up against Hunter and Farthnar and starts just scanning the room, being ready for what comes next.
Then you guys can hear the scratching on the doors and the walls, and then smashing on the door, the front door, and it's just getting louder and louder. Several creatures until the door smashes open, and then the screen is going to fade to black, which we'll have to pick up next time.
Oh, I was just about to try out my new skills.
How did they get past the
Danger will
gorge?
His
I can see the
brother.
lurkers getting past the gorge. I wonder if there's another way across.
They got powerful wizards. Brother Pritus reconstructed the
Yeah.
fucking bridge.
Womp womp.